This is One on One. We are honored to welcome Bill Ripken, the co-founder of the Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation and analyst for MLB Network, the MLB Network. How are you doing?
I'm doing well.
You come from baseball royalty.
I don't know if it's royalty.
I'd say so.
Well, if you think
I'm
about,
a Yankee fan, and
all
I'm
right,
saying
well,
that.
let me put it to you this way: when you're a brother of Cal Jr.,
Yeah.
and I think everybody.
By the way, did he have a
seems
pretty
to
good
know
career?
that. I think he was pretty good.
Go ahead.
And he's the Iron Man, and he's the Hall of Famer. I think what people lose sight of was the fact that there had to be someone above him to actually shape and mold that, and that happened to be Senior.
Talk about him.
And he was just this simple kind of guy that was very much nuts and bolts, very basic. If I can touch it, I can fix it type mentality. And when you think about Cal Jr., the Iron Man, he was big, he was talented. He would have played in the big leagues, but without Senior's influence on him, probably would not be the Iron Man, probably would not be in the Hall of Fame.
Why is that?
Just the way he went about his business. I mean, I was not as big, I was not as talented as my brother. I ended up getting 12 years in the big leagues. Once again, probably because of the result of Senior on me. There was this very direct type of teaching that Dad was able to do. And a lot of it revolved around the basics, but don't let the basics fool you that it's not in depth, because it is. We can go deep all day long in the baseball world, but we also can take something that's very deep and bring it down into its basics form, and that's what Dad did.
Well, you come from an amazing family, but it's not just talent and hard work. You're also very committed. And through our friends at United Water, they told us about you guys and the fact that there's an initiative called Badges for Baseball that I want to talk about, which is very important because it's making a huge difference. Badges for Baseball. Talk about it.
Well, I think the cool thing about that is some of these areas that we're going in through the foundation, some of these kids probably look at the men and women wearing uniforms as the bad guys. And some of these tie-in projects that we're doing through Badges in Baseball revolve around nice facilities. So if you have a nice facility and a kid wants to go to that, and maybe instead of going down the street and turning left, where there might be something wrong down there, and he takes the chance and turns right. And
Mostly
goes
in
to
urban
this facility.
communities.
Yes.
Go ahead, I'm sorry.
Certainly in areas of need.
Yes.
And now we're partnering, with United Water, with law enforcement agencies from the federales all the way down, to the very entry level when you're talking about these things. Now the officers are viewed upon as the good guys.
How does it work?
And their friends. Well, let's say we bring in a group of officers and we kind of give them some ins and outs of baseball. Look, we're not trying to breed big league baseball players. That's not the goal here with the foundation and Badges for Baseball. But what we're doing is giving them a couple tidbits where they volunteer their time. We already know the officers are doing things for the right reason anyway. Now we're bringing them into the area. We give them a couple tidbits of baseball. They become friends and form this bond with the youth in that area. And I don't need to look at studies to see this is going to be a good thing. Common sense tells me you bring law enforcement and kids of need together and they can hang out, they become the mentors for these kids for a long, long time.
So, Bill, let me ask you this. What is it about baseball? I mean, we have two sons who are 10 and 12 playing baseball right now, and I'm a big fan of teamwork and the leadership and the camaraderie and the whole bit. But I also see them acting, negative towards each other, blaming each other, like weird stuff goes on. Like life. I'm convinced baseball is a metaphor for life, but not everyone sees it that way. Do you believe with these kids and these officers that it is a metaphor for life?
I do, and it's kind of funny you brought that up because my dad always said, what you do in life, you do in baseball, and what you do in baseball, you do in life. And let's look at it this way. Some of these
you
kids...
can cheat in baseball, you can cheat in life.
It's true.
Yeah. I'm not going to name names, but go ahead.
No, but if you're going to play the game fairly in baseball, you usually play the game of life fairly as well. But let's look at it this way. We host camps from the foundation. United Water has been helping us out, sending us kids down there for our summer camp. So let's say we take 40 kids out of Jersey City. We take 40 kids out of Cleveland. We take 40 kids out of Detroit.
That's right.
You bring 120 kids into our facility.
And we're looking at it right now.
It's amazing at what goes on when you see these 120 kids get together. They realize that they're not as different as they may have thought.
That's right.
They come from same circumstances. You put these kids out on the field, you teach them a little bit of baseball. But once again, it's not about big league baseball. It's about the teaching of life lessons and things like that you can learn on a baseball field. But you'll see kids that will look out after other kids, might not be as good a player, and somebody might be making fun of the kid for swinging and missing, and you'll see somebody step up and say, hey, it's not that easy. You know, and you'll see a kid take a leadership role and do some things that you wouldn't think of. And it's because of the environment that we're putting out there. All it takes is the right person. Let's bring one of our officers of the law in to the mix. And he says, hey, dude, that's not right. And then one kid will pick up on that, and then it goes right down the line. So it really is what you do out there on a baseball field, how you go about your business, same thing in life.
You know, you got me thinking. Things are so connected, or not, but in my head it is. As a student of leadership, you just made me think that was just an example of leadership. Stepping up. Someone doesn't even give you the big C to put on your jersey, which makes you the official what? Captain. No one even gives you the big C. Right. But you just gave an example of someone stepping up and saying, oh, wait a minute, that's our teammate. You don't make fun of them. I often ask people the biggest leadership lesson they've learned in life so far, in their professional life, or what's the biggest leadership lesson you've learned, whether in baseball or not so far?
Wow, there's so many. There really is. But
Pick one that sticks with you.
It's kind of funny, though, when you talked about the C. Did Derek Jeter actually have the C on his jersey?
Nope.
No.
Never.
Was there any doubt who the captain was?
Never.
Was there any doubt who the leader was?
Never.
He did things the right way on a baseball field. He did the right things off the baseball field. And when you look at that, look, I was an Oriole, the family was an Oriole, and things like that. New York to us sometimes was the evil empire. But I would always tell kids that are coming through our facility and our camps, did you watch how Derek Jeter played? Now, was he the best player the Yankees had all the time? Probably not. But there was no doubt who was in charge and who did the right things and how he went about his business and how he played. And I'll guarantee if someone said something about one of Derek Jeter's players or teammates, any given time, he would say, no. He's one of us. If he's struggling, he's working on getting better, and we're going to stick by him. And that's an important lesson, how Derek Jeter ran to first base hard every single time, how he handled himself off the field. I mean, those are kind of players. There are players that you don't want to look at the big league level, and you can point them out. We don't need to do that.
No, we don't need
But
to.
There are certain players like a Derek Jeter that we can always point out.
Real quick, on the foundation, before I let you out of here, you guys doing something in Jersey City, in St. Anthony's?
We dealt with the high school, and us and United Water, the Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation, donated $30,000 of sports equipment to those guys. We've been doing some Badges in Baseball program in Jersey City. We haven't built one of our youth development parks. We're putting up these parks where we have 37 of them to date. By the end of June, we will have over 50 youth development parks.
And we're talking all over the place.
We're talking about state-of-the-art facilities where this is what I'm talking about. If a kid has a choice to go left or right, and this facility's to the right, we hope he does that, because any given day, he could go left away from this facility and do something that he might regret for the rest of his life. And we keep putting these things up all over the place, we got a chance.
All I know is Cal Ripken Sr. Taught you guys pretty well. So Bill Ripken, I want to thank you so much for joining us. And you are the co-founder of the Cal Ripken Sr. Foundation. People can also see you on the MLB network. I want to thank you. You honor us and you honor your family.
Well, I appreciate your time. Let me get the message
Thanks,
out.
Buddy. Stay
Thank
right
you,
there.
Steve.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Stay with us. We'll be right back. Really appreciate it.
One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been a production of the Caucus Educational Corporation, celebrating over 25 years of broadcast excellence. Funding for this edition of One-on-One with Steve Adubato has been provided by United Water, the New Jersey Education Association, Wells Fargo, Berkeley College, MagnaCare, the Russell Berry Foundation, and by Fedway Associates. Transportation provided by Airbrook Limousine, serving the metropolitan New York, New Jersey area.